A violent shooting just happened at the Dallas ICE facility, leaving multiple people injured. The United States Immigration and Customs Agency had 3 people detained in a van, and then it was fired upon. I don't know what is going on Wednesdays or Thursdays, but as you guys know of, 2 weeks ago, sadly, there was a violent assassination of Charlie Kirk. And then now, 2 weeks later, we have another shooting incident. A lot of crazy things we're going to talk about. And this shooting left 1 detainee dead and 2 critically injured in the hospital as of right. This is a evolving story, so we're just going to cover some of the basics. As we know, and as I always state, things are going to end up coming to light. And as you guys know, I'm not on this side or this side of the political scale. I am very moderate and independent in my views, aka the middle. As we all know, there have been a bunch of protests, a lot of, deportation stuff, a lot of illegal immigrants, and other people are getting very frustrated right now. But after this specific attack, all ICE facilities are on high alert.
Outside a Dallas ICE facility,
killing people.
Multiple gunshots rang out Wednesday morning as a woman waited in her car for her mom to finish an immigration appointment. The Department of Homeland Security says a, quote, sniper, identified by sources as 29-year-old Joshua John, fired at the ICE facility from a nearby rooftop.
The amount of symbolism all these active shooters and sniper activities type people are conducting is stupid. Your message absolutely backfired. I believe in this cause. ICE is bad. Kills the immigrants? Yeah, that didn't work out very good, did it?
Officials have given little information about a possible motive, yet Vice President J.D. Vance blamed inflammatory rhetoric from Democratic leaders and the media.
An Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility was opened fire upon by a violent left-wing extremist, a person who wrote anti-ICE messaging.
Anti-ICE. Whether the detainees were legal or illegal immigrants, and I'm stating both because it shouldn't matter. Life was lost, and this is incredibly sad. Life was lost due to unnecessary violence. It's sad. Should they be deported? 100%. But it's sad they shouldn't lose their life.
There's some evidence that we have that's not yet public, but we know this person was politically motivated.
Republican Senator Ted Cruz called for an end to political violence.
Political
every
violence
politician
is absolutely insane.
who is using rhetoric, demonizing ICE and demonizing CBP, stop.
Because I believe in when you start mentioning what side of the political fence you're on, that's where all this violence and extremism really pops up. The side that's saying guns are bad is the only side using guns. But I just want to put in perspective, everybody who says guns are okay is now being attacked with them. Could y'all imagine if the side with all the guns and the side that is peaceful did it the other way around and chose political violence on this side? Bro, y'all would be terrified. This is not going to go the way people want.
One of those instances was a bomb threat in August at the same facility where Wednesday's shooting happened.
We're a country and a city that needs prayer.
The 2 detainees who were shot remain in critical condition. We know one of them is a Mexican national.
If you guys are watching this live on Kick or Rumble, we are reviewing a handful of different media outlets and different sources. In the video, I'm not sure exactly what we are going to keep, but just know we are open to all sources of information. If we're putting it in the video, multiple sources are saying the same type of thing. Vance says shooter at Dallas facility was a violent left-wing extremist. It doesn't matter if you're left-wing or right-wing. This person was a violent extremist. Do we want that information? Yeah, sure. But does it matter? No, because the second you start picking what I believe, left or right side, that's where this crazy divide is. That's creating more extremism, and you're just trying to prove a point. You're just trying to win something. Did they leave the bullets on the roof, though? Or was that like before, and then somehow we have the images already?
To go after people who are enforcing our border. And I think that is the most disgusting thing.
That is disgusting.
The very people who keep us safe ought to be honored and protected and praised by Democrats and Republicans alike.
Shout out to all the ICE agents. I'm sorry y'all got it rough. But to clarify, no, I don't agree with any type of ICE agents who are beating the fuck out of people to deport them. But you guys got to understand, I have a lot of family. I have a lot of friends who have taken the 5 to 10 years to legally come here to the United States. I applaud that. I have employees. You guys know, my right-hand man, it's a girl. My executive assistant, Catherine, she legally took the time. She took the time to legally immigrate here to the United States. I do not believe in illegal immigration, no matter what type of violence you may or may not be evading from. Would you allow a random stranger into your home and they can stay for an undisclosed amount of time until they get up off of their feet? I truly believe that, like, if people are so for allowing this level of immigration, you would have to let them into your home, not mine. I'm not okay with it. Bro, we are basically on one shooting week right now.
You don't have to agree with Donald Trump's immigration policies, but if your political rhetoric encourages violence against our law enforcement, you can go straight to hell, and you have no place in the political conversation of the United States of America.
Political violence is wrong, right? Can we address the real problem? Because I'm starting to see the same issue here with both sides. I think we can all agree the problem is the unnecessary violence. The people committing violence are the problem. There's no justification for it. There's one justification for it, okay, in a legal sense, and it's actually one of my favorite quotes of all time. The best defense against evil men are good men skilled at violence, and I stand on that.
Well, it's just unfortunate. This is what we've come to be, used to, with this reaction from all the rhetoric and vitriol that's being played out across the political spectrum when it comes down to immigration enforcement. As the last two people just spoke about, we don't know the facts yet, what the motive is, but I think
we don't know all of the facts yet, guys. Please keep that in mind. Yeah, once again, and I know we're referencing Trump and Vance. If you guys don't like them, that is totally okay. I could care less whether you do or don't like somebody. For those of you who don't like them, and those of you who do like them, can we all agree here on something, that the violence is terrible and the loss of life is terrible? I think we can both agree that none of these people needed to die. Somebody was trying to send a message with violence to change your views and make a point. Guys, this is terrorism. There's a form of terrorism growing in the United States. I'm going to continuously say that because I want all of you to stay vigilant and stay safe. Do whatever you need by any means to protect yourself, and always be watching over your shoulder. And you can ask anybody. You know what? Actually, this is going to be a great rule number 1 of my life. Allie, what's rule number 1? Go ahead and tell the people.
Don't trust anyone.
Don't trust anybody. Yes. Okay, thank you. You want to know why? You want to know why that rule is so important? Not everybody can see, hear, talk, but you want to know what? Everybody can deceive and everybody can lie in some way, shape, or form. No, you can't even trust yourself.
And
your mind will betray you more than anybody.
I don't recommend anybody challenging ICE or challenging federal law enforcement, especially when you see this kind of stuff happening. They're going to be alert. They're going to be ready. They're not going to back down.
Everybody doesn't understand the neutrality of, like, the police and ICE right now, even though guys think they're extremely violent. What just happened, mark my words, is going to cause law enforcement and ICE to scale up their security and change their rules of engagement. I am sure they are going to protect themselves now. Y'all thought they were flicking and just, like, not thinking and just, like, fucking hurting you and spraying for no reason. Now you're just going to get shot. Be law-abiding, listen, follow the laws, because what this just started is not going to go the way I think this person wanted, let alone nothing did, because they literally shot and killed one of the people they're trying to protect.
These people are out there enforcing the law that Congress enacted. They're doing their job.
Yes.
And, they're doing it
well. Oh,
my
God.
And that's what
yes,
people don't like.
This.
Again,
enforcing the law that Congress enacted. Get mad at Congress, people.
There, but trust me, the agents
that's the one who's causing a divide, if anything. Let me tell you
well
that.
Prepared, and they're not going to sit back and just take it lightly.
Where can I read the rules for this chat? There are no rules. Just so you guys know, I do not censor your guys' freedom of speech in my chats. A lot of you guys may think I do. You guys can just come here, spam the N-word if you want to. I don't care. It doesn't hurt anybody, your words, and definitely don't hurt me. But I would love to hear your opinions, your thoughts from both sides. And also what we don't do, though, is we don't bully everybody from this side or this side of the fence. Like, say whatever you want to say. Hear other people's shit and let it be that. For any psychopath, crazy person out there who has any ideas of conducting an act like this, an act of violence to prove a point, let me tell you right now, you will not and ever be any type of martyr. There's a reason myself and other creators out there, we don't like showing your guys' faces. If you're trying to go out a martyr, we don't utilize your names. You're nothing to us. We only remember and care about the people whose lives were unfortunately lost, not you. Charlie Kirk's assassin. You might think he's a martyr. You might think whatever. One, he's still alive. Two, no one's bailing him out of jail. There aren't protests in the street for him. Nobody cares. Why? He's a bad guy. And if you do something like this, you commit a terrible act of violence, you're a bad guy. No one cares about you.
Denise's Robleto was waiting for her mother at the Dallas ICE field office and started filming. I was with my sister praying, she said.
At least 3 people shot. Multiple people shot.
Police say the gunman perched on a rooftop, killed 1 detainee and wounded 2 others before taking his own life. No ICE officers were injured.
No ICE officers were injured. And you shot only immigrants and you killed one. This happened yesterday in the morning time, and it is not headline news all over the place. Why? Because mission failed hard, bro. But when the Charlie Kirk assassination happens, one side of the fence, it's successful all over the news. Very sad Catholic church shooting. Their mission that they wanted to carry out was carried out all over the news. Pathetic failure of the mission. Almost no news coverage. Also, for all of these crazy things going on, if you guys want videos like this, better news, go and subscribe to the Brutally Honest podcast with Nikko Ortiz. I know I brought this up to you guys about 2 weeks ago, how that is going to be coming back. I plan to first start filming and put out the first episode sometime in October as we get my potential co-host, Allie, ready, set up, and I'm already doing a bunch of stuff. We're just trying to get caught up on where I want to film and set up a studio for the Brutally Honest podcast.
Here, and Mexican authorities are confirming that one of those injured is a Mexican national. DHS says that both of the people injured are in critical condition, and the DHS secretary tonight saying that she is praying for the victims and their families.
Like you said, I don't care if they're an immigrant or an illegal alien. It is terribly sad that they got caught in this type of crossfire, and I hope for them a speedy recovery. And if they are illegal, once they get a speedy recovery, get deported and get the fuck out of here and follow the legal way of applying to be a U.S. citizen. Thank you very much. That thing is like insane.
Officials say the words anti-ICE were written on unspent shell casings.
President Trump was quick to blame Democrats for criticizing the immigration crackdown and for, quote, comparing ICE officers to Nazis.
POTUS is wrong for immediately just blaming a demographic and generalizing a group, because on one side of the political scale, are they all like that? No. On the other side of the political scale, are they all like that? Are they all part of that group? No. There's another group outside of these, extremist people. Extremists are the problem, and you need to police your own. If you have people on your side of the political fence or your side of the political fence, and you are seeing that they are becoming extremists, you need to police them. You need to talk to them. You need to stop them. Accountability for your battle buddies. Seriously. You want to know what? We can all do our part. Both sides have extremists. You need to call those extremists out and tell them to fucking stop. What they're doing is not right. It doesn't line up with ideals. Let them know they're not doing the right thing. They're simply just hurting the overall image of your party.
And in July, a police officer was shot in the neck in an ambush-style attack outside the ICE detention facility in Alvarado, Texas. 10 suspects were charged in that attack. DHS says attacks faced by ICE officials are up by over 1,000% from the same time last year.
Once again, ICE is doing what Congress has enacted. Please understand one thing as somebody who has been for the government a manipulator. If you are easily offended, I make you a target immediately. Because if you are easily offended, you are easily manipulated. Because people who are easily offended have erratic emotions. We can control that. People are so mad at these ICE officials who are following what Congress has enacted. You got people from this side of the political scale fence and this side of the political fence. So tell me why them together can decide something, ICE does it, and then this side of Congress can say certain things about how, oh, that's not, it's a majority vote though. So they're making it happen, but then they're showing face to you and saying that it's so wrong. This has fake all over it. Sorry, but why would the shooter engrave bullets that are unspent? It's mad convenient. They give me the suicide because No, that's totally an option. Definitely something I even thought about last night, right? But when you just are researching a handful of things, right? Remember, this is my opinion, guys. You can absolutely do that. And it's unspent because he already started shooting a bunch of stuff. And for those of you guys who aren't aware, right? These are people who have never committed an act of violence in their life because they feel so oppressed and they're scared, but typically they're the aggressor. But then when they do these extremist acts, my first gunfight ever, rounds are coming in, I can shoot, I start shooting, but I lock up. I go, and I'm a trained soldier who's been to boot camp by this point in time, right? Now, what do you think is going to happen with somebody who thinks they're doing something they believe in, start shooting and killing people? They're going to lock up. They're not going to spend all that. I didn't spend all of my ammo in an active gunfight with Taliban under PKM fire and explosive airburst mortars that apparently the Taliban had. I didn't expend all of my ammo. I didn't even expend one full magazine. I doubt this guy's going to do the same thing with all of his messages on his bullets and all these things. This is my perspective. For those of you guys are looking for a different perspective. And I'd be curious to see if more bullets have like more writings on it. And who's to say they're not trying to go out as a martyr, right? They're not. This is why it's like, to me, I'm like, this is terrorism. They're trying to prove a point. Once I spend all this ammo, I'm going to leave this here for a message because all these other guys trying to do stuff are leaving messages. Like I've referenced the other two, the Catholic school shooting and the Charlie Kirk assassination. They're leaving messages. So other people are trying to do the same thing. And they're like, oh, well, I've never shot a gun before or done anything like that. His own brother said he's not a marksman or a sniper or anything like that. What if my handwriting comes off and then they don't know the message I'm trying to send? So they leave it there and then they smoke themselves. This is why I always state, guys, things will unfold. A great example, you guys have ever seen Gen V right now? It just dropped season 2. It's the Boys spinoff. It is really good at showing things that actually happened and how with the right amount of money, coercion, manipulation, blackmail, and the right voices with the right audiences, you can control the media and control the narrative.
From the victims, what we understand from DHS is that they were actually arrested as part of an ICE raid. That's why they were in that van. The Mexican consulate says one of them was a Mexican citizen.
Yes, exactly. We think we know who wrote it because we were told,
Omar
right?
Villafranca.
That's why, if you guys haven't noticed yet, I take a very different angle when reviewing things and trying to overview stuff because you never know. You never really have all of the facts.